Good morning, afternoon, whatever it is. It's always that weird moment at midday where you're like, not too sure what to say, but yeah, good morning. Hey Kev, how are we? Trying some different music this morning. One that doesn't use 25% of my CPU. So we're actually using the, I just accidentally stumbled across the YouTube music, audio library, free music. So it's probably horrible. I've listened to a few tracks this morning. Didn't seem too bad, but yeah, if it is genuinely awful, give us a shout. We'll go back to whatever it was called, Pretzel. Pretzel's the one, but that, yeah, my fan's actually off, which is awesome. I'm not going to melt in here today. But yeah, hello, welcome along. Thanks for joining us again. As I suggested last week, there was an episode 3.5. The only difference is that episode 3.5 happened, well, I didn't record it. So, if it's not already in chat anywhere, let me just drop this in. If I drop it from the Nordev account. Yes, I think I need to get on making instrumental music for these services. Tell you what, a live band, some kind of live band system for streams would be pretty amazing. Can you imagine, like, I'm forgetting the composer's name now, but you know, some kind of Jurassic Park style theme tune to a stream, just as the gaming's getting a little bit epic. You know, everything's ascending up. That'd be pretty cool, actually. I wonder if that probably. Well, to be honest, you could probably just hire an orchestra, right? But anyway, yeah. Need to get on making instrumental music with these services. Why is it really that bad? Should we go back to Pretzel? Should we have a Nordev radio? I don't know. Yeah, so episode 3.5 happened while you were away, or rather while I wasn't streaming, because you can get a lot more done, it seems, when you're not streaming. So if you haven't got the GitHub URL, it is getting dropped in chat now. I've been trying to keep that up to date, so every episode so far has a commit associated with it. So it's not the most neatest of commit histories. It is quite... I can never remember how to get to the commits screen from GitHub. Is it this? Oh, there we go. So yeah, each episode we've had a commit, more or less, the next day or whatever, or probably the day before the next stream. But yeah, there's a PR here. Thought I'd put it in as a PR just to kind of demo that a little bit. And episode 3.5 is here. The most important part, or where you'll probably get the most value, is from this commit here. So we can take a quick gander. We can take a look through what I've used basically to establish the rest of the site. So we should probably have a quick look what we're looking at, right? What we're dealing with. So back to Sublime. If I can find my terminal somewhere. There we go. And with a little bit of luck, I haven't left anything running. Probably have. No? Excellent. I'm trying to keep my Mondays free. My Wednesdays free now, so to be honest, I can't do any work with the anxiety of these streams in the way anyway. So, we've got that running. Where is it running? 32768 as last time. So let's have a little look at what we've established in the meantime. I haven't done too much. Oh dear, amazing. That's a brilliant start to the affairs. I think that's just some issues with the caching. Hopefully. We did have a homepage. I'm sure I finished with this. Oh my word, what on earth has happened here? Oh, I'm in main. Bear with. So, episode 3.5, here we go. We need some of that action because I've cleared it down for the main branch. So, let's have a quick gander now. Come on. Yeah, how is everyone? Nearly in December now. Has anyone started Christmas shopping? I have not done any of it. Every year. Oh my god, 8. seconds. Every year I promise myself I'll do some. Oh, for crying out loud, we've got a cache issue again. Hopefully. There we go. So yeah, the issue there is when you make some significant changes to your content directory, do be prepared to clear your cache. It will detect most changes, but if you pretty much change the entire directory structure or every file in it, do be prepared to clear your cache. That's just pulling all of those files into like pre-built PHP. I think they call it stash. The stash. Gotta make sure it's nice and trimmed is their usual joke on that one. So yeah, we have somewhat of a Nordev website coming together here now. Typography could do with some tidying up. There's the typography style sheet, but other than that, most of the features of the website are now in. And everything I did in order to do that is in this pull request here. So there was a couple of modifiers. We'll go over those shortly. Mostly just kind of small alterations to the collections. So getting date sorting going. And again here. And the ability, this is quite an interesting feature. Or I don't know whether interesting is the right word. But basically you have options to do with the date behavior. So the actual created date of the post, you can make it so that you can effectively, if you say future or unlisted or private, then you can put things in for scheduling, basically. So if you put a post in the future, so if we go into our control panel here, hopefully my user still works. Every time. You saw nothing. Isn't there some kind of fix I saw mentioned about 1Password not doing that on localhost or something? I'm sure I read something about that. Anyway. So yeah, if we take a post, for example, take collections and posts, and it's probably not going to work now, I haven't tested it. If we create an entry and say that the publish date, this date here, is actually in the future, 30th, future post, steal a hero from somewhere, you'll do. Yeah, cool. Don't need to put anything in there. No authors needed. So save and publish. And now this is an article in the future, and hopefully, we'll probably need to be logged out in order to not see it. So localhost 32768 in the incognito posts. It's not there. And it will be there on the 30th, will you believe? However, I think, well, it certainly used to be the case. I haven't tested it again. My experience with 3 is limited, but certainly used to be the case with 2. Okay, no, by the looks of it, not. So it certainly used to be the case with 2 that you would be able to then see those potentially as an admin. You might be able to see the individual view page. But yeah, that's how you can affect the handling of future dates or future posts. If we go into the control panel once again and just see that in real life, or rather within the UI, if you come into edit collection, past date behavior and future date behavior. So past date behavior you can use to drive your jobs. And I think I might have set this up. I can't remember. So no is the answer. But you could have this do the opposite almost. So as past date behavior, actually hide it. And you have options with whether or not it's still available as a single view. So the URL being visible is basically that the single view is still available if you know the URL. Otherwise URL's 404, as it says, they 404 cannot be found. So otherwise, most of this is, I think we added one extra field. Oh yeah, which company is the role with, just was added to the jobs, magazines. I think we changed the folder here, but there is very little change within the actual blueprints and stuff. The most of it is within the resources views. Now what I do want to pick up on is forms, and we will pick up on those properly. I've established all of the views for that so that we can just crack on with it. The global configuration, so our configuration here now has a further entry. So we have a third field for variables is an entries per page. So now within the site, it's annoying that I keep coming out of, there we go, localhost, around posts, etc. We should find that we're getting pagination working. There we go. So we've got our pagination below, and that just works with a query string, like so. So you now can amend this page count. So we can say it's 20 on that one. If it's saved on the bottom again, didn't it? That's a month of streams so far. I still haven't got used to that. And then we've got 20 per page. So that is all set up in here as well. So the resources views is where we want to be looking. Here we go. So all of within the resource views, we've got some significant changes. Everything where possible has been we've made into partials. So we've got partials for the titles, with configuration for whether or not we're appending that little slash, the little red slash here. So this does titles. We have the, here we go, pagination. So entries we saw before is that array. We can limit that array using the config pagination limit. And what I want to show quite a lot here, or dig into, is this as attribute. So on pretty much any, on any array like element that you want to loop over within Statamic, you can use two variables or two parameters, as and scope. As will give you the loop again as something, so we are providing the entries as posts to this partial listing, and you can use scope to apply scope to each individual item. So how does that take effect? Let's have a look. So if we go in to one of our views here, posts, and the show one. Oh wait, no, we don't want post show. What we want is the listing. Here. So this is always expecting the value to be posts. So this as attribute allows you to, in effect, remap whatever you're passing to your partial as something else, giving you access or allowing you to kind of make it generic. And then following that, we have scope. And this is the other part of this cascade. It's to deal with the exactly that cascade. So once we look in this partial here, we will begin to see what this does. So if I bring, so this is looping over posts, and it will bring in either a post, a magazine, or a job using that preview template, if you remember rightly. And in preview now, everything has been prepended with entry. And this allows us to get around the issue of title, for example, or the barred field having been defined at a higher level, and our barred here not being available, and therefore us getting access to a higher barred than the one we want. So this allows us to basically scope a variable into whatever we need it to be, and allows you to also make things fairly generic via those partials. So that's something to explore throughout the commit. Everything where possible has used this. So we will have in collections, we are saying as entries, and then we're saying entries scope entry here. So everything has been scoped, and we're protecting ourselves from that cascade. I think this is probably the easiest way to go about it. Do correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, the best way to go about this would be for me to have spent another 3 or 4 hours doing this with you on the stream. But I figured it would be more interesting to get onto some of kind of the the advanced, is a better word, advanced features within Statamic for the last week of the streams. But yeah, take a look at this pull request, pull it down. It's completely open source, of course. Any questions, you know where I am, hit me up and I will try to answer them. Hope that doesn't feel like too much of a cop-out. But anyway, we have an episode 3.5 PR here. Review at your leisure. I am going to merge it. So we can see no conflicts with the base branch because there's no commits in main since this was pushed into this branch. So merge away. Let me just say 6 commits into main. So if I actually click that, there we go. Boom. And now our main branch has got episode 3.5 in it. There we go. Oh, remove the spoiler. So what are we doing today? Well, like I say, we're going to do some of the more advanced aspects and what really makes Statamic fairly powerful in those respects. Templating is fantastic. You'll just have to trust me on it, I guess. But it's fairly standard stuff, you know. Right. We are going to be today, I have some notes, where are they? Today we're going to be taking a look at tags. Specifically, we're going to be creating a Meetup tag. So at the moment on our homepage, hopefully, yep. On our homepage we've got our big old title, latest posts, latest magazines, and a quote from Simon. What we need on here is a upcoming events block, as we have on the NordDev website, and we've got a few options to establish that, but we're going to go with using a tag for today. So creating our own custom tags, and tags are things like the collection tag here, or the partial tag, for example, and we can create our own variants of that. Oh dear. I seem to already have one. Oh no, okay, cool. Sweet, we've got an empty one here. For some reason, what I'll do is delete that and show you how to create one as well. Cool. So we'll be creating a tag, a Meetup tag. We'll then be taking a look at the Statamic SSG package, which is new to version 3. It allows you to take a Statamic website and render it statically to a directory, and it's awesome. I've had a little play around with it. We shall do so as well. And then thirdly, we're going to use one of the new / old features, so the Git integration. Statamic comes out of the box if you've got a pro account, but we'll enable that with the little flag, with Git integrations built in. And there's a few ways you can go about this. Now, back in V2 world, there used to be Spock, as in Spock from Star Trek. He is a starship commander with large ears. So who better to listen to commands and events and save stuff? But basically this listens to a range of events that are broadcast by Statamic when anything gets updated or saved, and then you can ask it to run a bunch of commands. Now, this is probably not going to work. No, beautiful 404 page, good grief. Yeah, beautiful 404 page, but not very useful to us. But the Spock was very simple. It was very under the hood. No, it wasn't very visible. It just ran. It just got on with it. And you could get it to run. I mean, you couldn't. People used it for Git, but you could effectively use it for whatever you like. It would run a bunch of commands based on an event, and most people use that to git commit or git add, git commit, and git push. And that's the way you can get any content changes that are happening to your flat file CMS, your flat file system. You can get those back into Git. And then the next time you push, of course, with your CI service, you can then be pushing current content, because of course you've got it in Git already. You haven't got to worry about any of that stuff. Everything's effectively backed up as it could be, because it's gone to somewhere like Bitbucket or GitHub or something. So yeah, fantastic little setup. I have not even touched this, so we're going to be exploring this today together. We're going to be learning together. So yeah, that should be fun. And then we will deploy it. So I've set up a DigitalOcean bucket thing, droplet. I think they call it droplets. This one. Running and ready. I used the Laravel image from DigitalOcean. So when you create a droplet, over here you can just do a plain old, Ubuntu FreeBSD CentOS install, or go to the marketplace, slap in the name of the thing that you're deploying. For example, I don't know whether Statamic's in it. No, but because Statamic is effectively Laravel, well, it is. You can get away with just deploying this Laravel image from the marketplace, and it's really awesome. The first time you log in, you'll get like a little setup wizard, ask you for your domain, stuff like that, and then it installs and adds its own little Laravel as well, 7.2 into the DigitalOcean bucket, and then it's basically ready to go. Sets up a MySQL database, all sorts. A little bit overkill for us, but we will get that this website deployed to it, so long as I don't spend 20 minutes talking, which is what I've just done. So here we go. Right, we've created a droplet. Like I say, let's get going. So Meetup tag. Should do that. So tags. You got a sneak peek a moment ago, but we're going to create one for Meetup. Now, what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to drop it on the page wherever we like, right? So we want to be able to drop it here on our home page, but we might also want to drop it on our about page potentially. So what we'll want it as is part of our bard, so that we can invariably put it wherever a bard is. We'll update our entries per page to 10 here. Just go back. And then let's take a look at our field sets now, because we are sharing the bard between our blueprints. And open up our bard now. We've only got the one field, so we'll open up our bard field. It gets a little bit inception at this point. And you'll notice we have a range of new sets that I've introduced as part of that episode, 3.5. We have the quote, which allows you to put content and a attribution to it. The collection, which allows us to establish a list of items, a list of our entries, magazines and posts. We have the gallery, which, to be honest, I don't think has been set up. You'll have to check in that PR and maybe implement it for me. We have this basic HTML block, which just allows us to drop in some source in a text area, so that you can drop iframes, embeds and stuff on the page. We have our form, and that is one of the things that I'd like to visit actually in episode 4 today. So we will cover that. I'll add that to my notes now. Let's cover forms after we've covered the Meetup tag, because forms have taken on a new life in version 3. They were a little bit rubbish in version 2. We had them, but we didn't have very much customization over them. It was very much the developer had to do things. But now the forms use the same blueprint system, and you can make a form as awesome as you wish yourself. I'll show you. Right, so we need to add a new set to our Bard, and that will be the Meetup set. We could give this additional attributes. One of those attributes could be the group that this is meant to be pulling from. So if Norfolk developers wanted to feature in an article another Meetup group, and maybe leave a list of their upcoming events, we could do so as well. Now, one thing to admit up front is that there is and there isn't a Meetup API. There is an API, as far as I understand it. You need to pay for it, but we are not paying for the API. We're using a little bit of a cheeky, what you'll notice, and I shan't name the person, but I'd feel like I need to attribute the person, but somebody else discovered this, is all I'll say on the matter. If you go to any of our Meetup or any Meetup page, oh, you didn't get to see it that time. This upcoming events block, I believe, could be wrong, like I say, I didn't do it myself. This upcoming events has been fetched over the network after we've loaded the page, I believe. Somewhere in here. Oh, I think I just spotted it. Somewhere in here, though, it's gone off and made a query to its own internal API and gone and fetched the upcoming events, and the only thing protecting it is XSS. Wait, XSS? No, a cross-origin header. So Chrome won't make that request on our behalf to anyone, but Laravel will. Doesn't give a hoot about cross-origin headers. So in the existing Nordev website, on the GitHubs, which is again open as well, so if you'd like to have a look at how we built the Next.js version of the website, do so. So under the Norfolk Developer Organization, Norfolk Developers website, you will find, I believe, probably in components actually, events. Am I going to create event list? Here we go. This little Next.js component, or just a React component actually, I call it Next.js component, should be making a fetch somewhere. Oh dear. One moment, caller. This is where basically Sean starts going. Sean suddenly turns up and points me in the right direction, right, Sean? Sean. There's an endpoint here defined from somewhere, endpoint string, so I'm guessing that's on the page. So, pages, index, I think. There we go. So this endpoint here, if we hit this up in our nice and handy dandy Postman, excuse the really weird command I have to use to launch it. Where are we at? It's over there. Oh, launched on. Oh, it's come up. That was weird. The splash screen came up on another page there. That's very strange. All right. Okay. So if we pop this in here, number of events. I don't think this actually matters. But if we send it, there we go. And we can see in our response, if I make it a little bit bigger, that might be helpful. You can see in our response that we have a list of events from Meetup. So this is where you're sat right now. this week's Virtual Social Club. And next week's the Web Telescope. And then the rest of the Virtual Social Clubs. So we'll be able to use this API here, endpoint here, to go and get us some Meetup action, some Meetup goods, Meetup entities. So we're going to establish a, oh yeah, and sorry, what I should point out, what got me to that entire argument or statement was that in here is a name, the name of the group that you're looking up. For now, let's just hard code this in as Norfolk Developers Nordev, but we might, if we get a chance to today, wire that up so that we can pull in any meetup. All right. So let us do things with the things and make a tag. So we're going to use the artisan interface, the artisan CLI, Laravel's artisan CLI, which is here, PHP artisan. And within Statamic, you should have a make tag. There it is. And again, like I said in the first episode, you've also got PHP please, which is the older original version, which has got everything but without the Statamic precursor. But we're going to use artisan. So artisan Statamic make tag. And we're going to call it Meetup. And hit enter. Your tag class awaits at app tags Meetup. Thank you. Oh, right. So you know how I said I was going to format my laptop. But to be honest, I think I've said it every episode that I'll format my laptop at the weekend. Yeah, as you can tell, that hasn't happened. But I have found an easier way of fixing this, which is weird. If I turn off my Bluetooth, turn it back on again. Yeah, now works. How weird's that? So it's almost like, I don't know, the interruption of it having this cursor attached to my Bluetooth mouse and then reassigning it gives it back to the over. I don't know. I don't understand this bug at all. But anyway, we have our Meetup tag now as a class here and loads of instructions on how to use it, which is fantastic. So the Meetup tag is here. Oh, one sec. Bluetooth connection. The Meetup tag, plain and simple, here. Or, if you'd like, you can have a colon version with another parameter, or sorry, another method here. We're not going to use that version. We are just going to use our simple Meetup tag. And what this says that we can do, basically, is if we come along to our control panel now, where we were adding our Meetup event, let's now save this. Finish. Save. And then we can come along to our home page. So we'll go collections, into pages, and to our home page. And then good grief. Anytime soon would be great. Why do I get the feeling this is related to having no internet? Suddenly everything's green on OBS. Let me hit enter again on that page just to kick it off again. Okay, my fan's going crazy. The page is unresponsive. Great. Why is it dead? Why is it not working? Okay, that worked. CPU working. Control panels opening slowly. Apparently that crashed. All right. Bloody hell, I need to format my computer. Okay, so what were we doing? I've forgotten. In the meantime, we're going to collections. We're going to pages. We were opening the home page. Is this going to stick again? Why is this tab just dying? to sweat. What happens if I go into authors? And then into one. What's going on here? Is it just the home page I can't open? Jobs opened. Home doesn't open. What's up with home? So everything lives in our content directory, collections, pages, home. Let's get rid of this quote. It's probably throwing a tiz out, you know, because Simon's got a quote in there. So we'll exit that page that's crashed in the background. I mean, we've loaded the home page a few times now. What on earth is going on? What should I do? Is potentially clear, #clear. And I'll snap that page. So we go again. This is typical, this isn't it? Come on. This is so weird. Well, this is awkward. Okay. What on earth is going on? So I'm just going to drop all of our barred fields. We've got it in Git, so I can just restore it from there. I'm going to drop the author field. And I drop this update by, and drop that. Basically a brand new page at this point. So let's blow out the cache. There. And then let's close that tab if it'll close. Come on. There you go. And let's go back through this entire thing again and see what on earth is going on. Sorry about this. I wonder what was going on there. Very strange. Very, very, very strange. Okay. We need to bring in some of that content again. So I wonder if we get rid of all of this, just have our barred in. These should be good. Let's just try this again. Something about that barred he doesn't like. Any errors? It's a bit too dense when it's zoomed in like this. That was from ages ago, right? Yeah, 1206, 1240 we're looking for. Nothing. hangs. Wow. How annoying. Very strange. Alright, let's scrap all of that. Let's just try and remake this page. Sorry about this. Try to dump a load of content in here in order to, you know, make it a little bit quicker so we could get straight into things. And of course, it's bitten me in the ass. Alright, we have life. So let's add this stuff up. It's a HTML block with this HTML in it. That's going to annoy me. So is that extra line. And then we've got a collection of latest posts. It's the posts collection, items to show 3, and we will link that through to an entry. And that entry is going to be the page with posts on it. Oh my god, this has got everything in it. Filter collection, pages. What are we looking for? Posts. Alright, and then we'll want another one. And this is a collection of the magazines, I think. Yep, latest magazine, and we're only showing one this time. So latest magazine, magazines, and 1. And we're going to link entry. Posts again, excuse me. Pages, I meant. Magazine. Cool. Get rid of that extra line. I think it actually will get rid of these for you. Let's have a try. Let's hit save. So that's that. Save and publish. Let's see what happens now. Apparently I have to raise my hands up here. I have no clue what's going on here. The answer is no, it doesn't remove those. What on earth is going on? This is so bizarre. It's like the bard breaks it. What the hell? Sorry about this. Destined to happen though, isn't it really? So is it the excessive amount of HTML that was in there? And I use the word excessive in quotes. Save and publish. Back again. Okay, so it's not that apparently. Out there. Correction. Headline. Paste 3 of them. Let's not put a link in. Let's just clear that up. Let's hit save. What the fuck is going on there? I swear if I build up this entire home thing bit by bit, slowly, click by click, and it doesn't. Here we go. And it's broken again. So it's the collections. This one? Wait, no. It's this thing? Yeah. With a null link at the moment. So it isn't even the link. It is something to do with these. Either the collection field. What the actual fuck? So if I take this out now, is it going to load? Come on. Yep. So is it that one, or is it the fact that there's 2 of them? Yeah, do get logs, but at the moment it seems to be a front end problem. When I say a front end problem, obviously it's a Statamic problem. But I think this issue is occurring in the front end. It's crashing out Chrome. I don't think it's crashing out the back end because we've got no logs here yet. If I just zoom these out, sorry, looks a bit more sensible. Yeah, this call to member function ID was at 12:06 earlier, but we've had nothing ever since. So I'm pretty sure this is crashing on the front end in fucking Vue. Yeah, it's just crashed the terminal or the page. Try in Firefox. Maybe it's some weird browser bug. Localhost 32768 CP. This is typical. I'm going to spend the next fucking, excuse my language, it's got really bad since I got stumped by this. Have a drink. This is typical, isn't it? If this does end up railroading the, here we go, let's staying the same. Yeah, this is a front end issue. This is some kind of loop or something going on in the Vue.js, I'm guessing. Why is another question. Excuse me. 3268. The thing is, I think the homepage will render it. Yeah, but I don't think this is a back-end issue. I think it's something to do with the control panel. So if we copy this all in here, drag it in, paste it in, let's get rid of the extra key and those bits. Now if we try and render the front end, works a treat. We've already seen this. But in the back, not so much. Well, I'm really sorry. I want to look into it, but I'm also aware that you probably don't want me spending the next hour looking into it. So I'll try one more thing, and that's to add a collection to another page. Save and published. Go back into posts. Yeah, it's definitely something going on in the front end here. What on earth is going on? It's totally crashed out Chrome again. So I just need to get that removed. So that'll be in content, collections, pages, posts. I just added it to, right? Yeah, this one. Null link, although we tried it with a valid link earlier. What on earth is going on? I saw this come in the other day with the biggest of luck. There might be a bug fix for some kind of issue. What's fixed? Oh, we're missing a few. Wait, we're missing a few versions. Where are we? We're in here. Okay, let's do this update. Oh my god, it'd be amazing if this fixes it. Bear with. I think I need to do that over here. I pray to the composer lords and the Statamic lords. There we go, 3030 now grabbing it. Look how quick this is now, by the way. Composer is insane these days. If you haven't done it, Composer self-update. Do it now. This self-update. And that. Or just re-provision your Docker image, I guess, but the new Composer is insanely good. We should be on the latest version now. We are. Current version. Sit back, everybody. Pages. I imagine if this has just been fixed by that update, I very much doubt it would have done. Oh my god! Yes! Okay, so if you're using the older version of Statamic... Oh my god. If you're using an older version of Statamic and you have issues with your bards, update your version of Composer. I wonder what bug that was. Anyway, I'm not gonna... Yeah, we've already wasted enough time on that. Oh my god, I'm so glad it fixed it. Whew. Right, so we now have a home. Where even were we? We wanted to add a meetup thing. To be honest, I'm glad this is the last one of the year. This is the last one of the year, by the way. Meetup. We now have a meetup block. It has no parameters on it. Oh my god. Go away with this extra line. I don't know. Cool. Right. We have a meetup chunk. And that will mean it will be firing our meetup tag on our homepage now. So on our homepage. Oh, no, it won't. No, it won't. Of course it won't. So we've established a bard, but we didn't give it a set, did we? So we need to come over to our views, and we need to add a new partial for it that will then call our meetup tag. So in our partials, in our bard sets, we need to create a new meetup.bard antlers.html. Taking me a while to write HTML at the end there. All right, so now we should be able to call Meetup as a tag in our Meetup set. Refresh. Boom. Nothing happened. That's what I'd like to see. But if we go to our tag and return Meetup tag, like so, rendered on our page now, lo and behold, is Meetup tag as a string. Now there are two things you can return from the tag, and these are going to feel familiar because we've covered them before, but it's basically whether or not it is a singular tag or a array tag, effectively. So as it is, it's returning a string, so it's obviously a single tag. Yeah, it can be rendered with just this. However, if we like, we can return an array from here, as it says up here, to be honest. Return string or array is our PHP doc. So if we return an array of items, in here we can add some variables. So, hello world. My fans are going crazy. I don't know what's kicking off with the audio library. Oh, the audio got stopped or stuck at some point. Sorry about that. I didn't notice. Is it back? I think it's back. Oh, very quietly. So you've just been listening to me huffing and puffing all morning. That's annoying. Sorry about that. Let's turn it up a little bit. Oh, blimey. That was a bit loud, isn't it? I can't actually hear it. What's it like? Sounds a bit weird. I'll leave you with that one. And we can put whatever we like in here effectively, right? This is where it turns out I can't, but I'm pretty sure we can. So we can return an array with titles. Hello, second world. Value 2. And then in our Meetup set where we're rendering this, we now need to render this as a array, and we do that just by simply having a start and a finish to that tag. And now if we run dump inside of here, refresh, oops, and tidy up our dodgy syntax, so semicolon, refresh that, oops. If we scroll up here now, we're going to see some of those values coming out of that tag. And there's the key value 1. And here's our title. Hello world. And again, for the second one, we've got a value 2 on our key. And a title somewhere. Title, hello second world. Like so. Alright. So we can begin to return content dynamically based on... Oh, from this tag. So what we should be able to do now is, instead of returning some arbitrary arrays, we can actually return some content from the Meetup API. As soon as my mouse starts working. And the composer lords did say, "If do not run as sudo." So it's nice that in that. Is it? I can't see it. I think it does moan if you actually run it as sudo, right? But yeah, that's quite amusing. Don't run it as sudo. There's post-install scripts. People could do whatever they like with them. Same with NPM, really. Same with any package manager. People can put post-install scripts in them. They usually run automatically. There used to be that issue with the funding thing on NPM where you could run all sorts of arbitrary code in it. So yeah, don't run it with sudo, pals. Okay, so we have our Meetup, and at the moment is returning just a simple array, right? So what if instead we got that to go off to the API? My hair, bloody mess. What if we instead made it go off to the API and find out what the latest events are, right? Get those for us. So let's do that. Now we're going to need to make a HTTP call. And we're going to make that HTTP call to the API that we've defined, right? So we've got this URL here. And let's grab that and stick it in our container here. So this is the URL we need to hit up, right? This is the endpoint here. And this is a bunch of query strings we need to send over. To make HTTP requests, I'm just going to do something quite quickly. There we go. A little bit of a preference, but I don't know. It's a performance thing, so just a quick note on this. If you use a / here, it prevents it making that lookup in the apps tags namespace before it makes that lookup in the root namespace. So if you just pop a / on, that's like probably nanoseconds of performance by little things. So anyway, we can make use of course, all of the Laravel support packages, right? Or I think this is specifically a Symfony one. But facades, HTTP will give us access to the HTTP class, which allows us to make things like a HTTP GET request, like so. So we can make that HTTP GET request to the service. So let's just do that now. We will get some data back. Actually, no, we won't. We'll actually get a response back. So we'll save that as a response. HTTP GET. The URL we need in our things. And I think this second parameter is data, basically. So if it was to do a HTTP post, this would be sent across as JSON. But because we're making a GET request, I believe we can pass in our query strings here. So everything after our question mark, we can start to hand in as a bag, an array bag. So let's start breaking that up. It's broken up on the... Wait, there's a question mark there. Another one. Right, go into that one. And. There we go. Delete those. Hit enter. Perfect. Just realised I haven't got my screen key thing on. So there you go. And then we can target something they share. So we'll use equals and do Control D across that. It just allows us to select matching selections, basically. And then we can move our cursor around together like this. So we'll put a space there. These are all our keys. So I'll put those in strings. And then equals is not quite right in PHP. We'll need a little arrow. And then finally, we just need to update any of these values where they need to be contained. So this one needs to be contained as a string. Sign true. This is a string as well. Page 1, limit 20. Yeah, looks good. So instead of returning an array now, we are going to use dd, die and dump, because it's exactly the same as the, well, similar to the dump tag that we've been using in the templates. But this one will kill it, die and dump. I think we have used a die and dump in the templates as well. But if we now, we'll want the JSON. That's assuming the request was made and it was all okay, but we'll find that out in a moment. So if we now refresh, we'll get a syntax error. That's fantastic because Alex has forgotten his commas. So again, we will use the handy Control D. Just select a similar thing here. Control D, Control D, Control D. Left to get to the left-hand side of that, and then a comma. Trading commas is a preference of mine, but that's entirely up to you. We can do that in PHP land now. So if we refresh this, boom, we have an array of arrays. And inside, look at that. Don't know whether that, does that zoom for you? Is this zoomed in for you? Oh, I think so. Yeah, that works. Cool, so here is our response from the API. And we can see we've got the event name here, times, local dates, etc., the RSVP count, and the link to the actual event itself. So we'll zoom out there. Can somebody let me know if that actually worked for you? Is the zoom, it's blurry? Yeah, it's pretty basic. I don't think it actually does any scaling or anything, but if that was possible, that's pretty awesome. Alright, so now what do we want to do? Well, we want to give these to the person, right? We're pretty much there at this stage, but what we probably want to do is ensure that we're potentially limiting the amount we get. So this 20, I don't think actually does anything. So if we make the, like, for example, we've got 51 right now. But if you remove it, I'm pretty sure you get none or something. Oh no, 51 as well. So that's potentially not required. Potentially the page isn't required either, assuming we've got the first one here. Yeah. Refresh again. Doesn't look like that's required. Yeah, we've had a mess about with this before. It might be that there's something in this layer that is actually just sending those across anyway, but we'll leave them in just in case they get removed. We need to be aware of those, right? So, what to do now? Well, we should probably check that the response was actually returned to us okay before we start doing anything with it, because it could be that for whatever reason Meetup's down, or whatever reason, quite a whole host of reasons it could be down. So we, if the response is not okay, I think there's a response fail, but response is not okay, we're going to log, and in order to do that we're going to need the log facade, so we'll just import that, and we'll say log error, and we'll just say error fetching events from Meetup API, and we will return an empty array, and that will effectively make the Meetup tag that wherever it is that it's expecting an array. Now it's focused. I think it's a connection issue. Oh, is my connection dodgy today? How is it? I'm going to be ringing up Sky after Sky Broadband, or Sky in general, to be honest, after this call. My bill has gone up a little bit. To be quite frank, 60 meg broadband and a TV that we never watch is not worth quite how much they're charging us. So I'm going to ring them up and tell them I don't watch it and your internet's pants, so do something about it or I leave and find something else. You know, classic, the usual call. Okay, so response is not okay, so we're going to log that. We'll get it in our logs in storage. Where I was just looking a moment ago, wasn't I? Tail storage logs here. You'll get it in here. And also, if you're using anything like Sentry as well, you should be able to catch that. All right. So now we need to do something with the actual response and gather the events from it. So we'll have events, and we'll want to do so the response is an array at the moment, just a plain old PHP array. What we can use is one of the helpers from Laravel to convert an array that it's given into what's referred to as a collection. We've been over collections back in when we were doing the what even was it? Hablytics. Building the Hablytics app. If you need a breather or refresher on those, effectively they're quite basically a nice set of functions around, or a nice class to deal with arrays. Laravel collection, check out these available methods. Basically it gives you access to a bunch of these methods here on an array, which is pretty handy. Yeah, so collect is the top level, it's just a helper for inserting in an array as that. So what that allows us to do is start calling some of those methods, right? So if we have a look at what we've got, what we should probably do is ensure that this field here, time, let's not trust that Meetup is going to actually give these to us in any particular order. Let's just ensure that on our side. So we'll sort by the time, and because it's a Unix, or sorry, I don't think it's Unix actually. It's just a timestamp. not got enough zeros. This timestamp is a timestamp from epoch, so it goes up. If it's bigger than the one before it, then if it's bigger, then it's in the future. Can't think of a good way to describe that. So we'll sort by the time column. All right. We will take an amount of them, and now that they're sorted, we'll be taking the most recent. We will take 20 of them for now. And what we'll need to do as well is these dates here, this timestamp, stuff like that, not very helpful to us as strings like that. So what we can do is we can turn these into a more natural extension for Laravel or Statamic world, which would be the carbon. So what we need to do is interpret it. Now, the easiest way I've found to interpret it is to actually use these two fields here, the local date and the local time, and then potentially use the field. There's a time zone field, I think, in here somewhere. There's a group one. Yeah, there's a group time zone. You can use that, or I thought I found another time zone field in here that was for the venue. But I guess go by the group's time zone there would probably be the wisest choice. Yeah, I think so. So that's what we'll do. We'll pull it in, and what we'll need to do is create a start and an end field, basically. So we've got some nice carbonized dates that we can use going forward. We can use those in the templates. Hey Alex, sorry, keep missing the start of these. I guess you're winding back. There's 41 people apparently along with you who have turned up and either missed the start or have hit the playback button. So hi to everybody that's in the past. Yeah, nice to have you with us. Good grief. Yeah, we've got 3 of you sitting along currently. I'm guessing that's Kev, Simon, and I don't know who else. Who else is there? Who are you? Identify yourself. But yeah, welcome along, Simon. You've been messing around with Statamic. How's it going? Is that a... See, I always... people do that little... The little emoji. What is it? I probably should do it on the screen so you can actually... This little emoji... I'm going to get a bit dark now. This little emoji, right, is a little celebration emoji that everyone uses, right? Yeah, what if I do this? That's what I see. It means a happy developer, yeah. Or a developer that's drowning. Anyway, let's not get boggled down by that sort of stuff. So what we're going to use is a map. We're going to take every value that's inside this event. So we've got 20 of them at the moment. They're sorted by time. So we're going to take each one of those and we're going to give it a carbonized date. A carbonized date, I love that term. Seems like Star Trek. Ooh, didn't say that. Star Wars. What's his face? God, there's going to be people at the door with stakes and all sorts. Pitchforks. That's the word I was looking for. Carbonized. Doesn't somebody get carbonized in Star Wars? There we go. That's what I was getting at, I think. So we'll extract the date from it. That is the event is an array, so we're going to pull that out. It's the local date we just spoke about. Local something. Yeah, local underscore date, right? Yeah. There. Local date, and we'll extract the time equals event and local time. Oops, local time, and then we'll extract the time zone from the group. So event group, oops, academic group, and then another array accessor to get the time zone. Awesome. And now what we can use is, like I say, Carbon. So we'll go and look the API up for that. Carbon Nesbots. Hopefully they don't deprecate this one along with Laravel, the Fazanato faker. Right, what we need is a getter. No, we don't. We need the docs aren't great for this, if I'm honest. What we need, I always think it's a getter, but it's not. We need this bad boy. So you can't read that. I can't even read that, let alone you people after you've been downgraded 100 times by YouTube. Get in there. Maybe a few more control pluses. We'll just wait for Chrome. There we go. 300% should do it. Oh god, it's still going. Stop it. Stop it. Oh my god. Right, I can't read anything now. We wanted the create from format. There it is. Format, the time string, and the time zone. Nice and easy. Or you can do this one as well, create safe, if you want to just extract those hours and stuff for you. But so long as we know the format, we can always give it in a particular way. So we will say that the event, and we're going to actually just update, we're going to add a variable at this point. So we're going to add start, and we're going to use Carbon from, god damn it, create from format, not from format. I nearly put from create format, and then we pass in the format first. So it's going to be, let's have a quick look at the dump. It's going to be YYY but that's just not how it works. Where's the PHP date format? There is a PHP doc that's perfect for this. It's just got a list of them. Pretty sure this is it. There it is. So here we go. So we just need to use these to identify what our format is in. So it's a year, and it's going to be a full year, right? A full numeric representation of the year with 4 digits. So it's a Y. Y dash. And then we've got a full representation of a month, and it's not textual. It's got its leading 0, so it's just a single small m, dash m. And then we need our D for day, I think. Do 2 digits with leading 0s. We will just check that they have leading 0s, but I'm pretty sure they do. Most sane people provide double-digit dates. We need to find something that's, yeah, there we go, look, 03. Which indicates to me that the 12 will also be a double digit, but if we move somewhere in this region, we should have some, there we go. January the 22nd, our virtual social club, and 0122. And the time while we're here is 24 hour. So we just need a 24 hour representation of the hours. So here we go, time, 24 hour format with the leading 0s, 0 through to 23. Perfect. That one, please. H colon, and then this is where people will often get tripped up. Month is already taken, right? It's M, so minutes is I. So we'll grab I, chuck that in here, and I don't think it has any seconds or anything, so that is our format. So now we pass in the date as it is. So we'll pass it in with double quotes, and we're going to pass in dollar date and dollar time, and that will make our time up. And then we just pass in our time zone, and we have a start date. Perfect. Now we need an end date, just for display purposes, really, and just so that we don't have to compute it in the templates. Just easier. So we'll make an end, and we're going to use the same formatting. We're going to create a date from the start format. It doesn't provide us a finish time on here, but what we do have is a duration. So this is 720. Wait, no, that's 7 million, isn't it? Can't even read it. 7.2 million milliseconds, I believe, not seconds. It's usually in seconds, but tell you what, the APIs are crazy. So what we can use is, because we've now got a carbon date, we can use some of the carbon functions, and one of those is add milliseconds. Good grief, I don't think I needed to zoom in this far, did I? Let's zoom out a little bit more. And we should have modifiers in here somewhere. In fact, we were on it. Modifiers. Starts, ends. What we need to do is adds. Add milli. Hello. See what, my laptop is dying today. It was last week as well, to be fair. It's been doing so for quite a while. I need to addition and subtraction. Here we go. So add milliseconds is what we need, and we'll add the milliseconds of duration onto it. So it's a bit long at the moment, so I'm just going to add that on a new line. What is it? $event duration. And now we should have a start and an end. And then the final part of a map, because we're in a map at the moment, we need to return the new value of the event. And what we've been doing is been extracting date, time, and time zone from it. And then we've added 2 new start and ends. So if we now return event in this instance becomes our new event in our final events collection. That was a bit weird. Anyway. Now, finally, we can just basically return it. Right? We can return it to our tag, and then they can extract whatever fields they like from it. So if we return events, what is the time? 13:23. But I mean, I've done one thing. What I might do is I might come back tomorrow. Who's up for another one tomorrow? Wait, I need to check my diary. I'm pretty sure I can do tomorrow. Up for some deployment, Git action tomorrow instead. Got 3 people and 48 people behind. Good God. Yeah, I guess those 48 people will get no choice. So the 3 people that are currently on the stream, are you happy to come back tomorrow for some Git and some Git talking, some DevOps stuff? Deployment action is needed, says Simon. You still struggling? Maybe we should do, just straight into deployment tomorrow. How does that sound? We can do whatever time you like. Wait, no, I can't. I need to check my calendar, which I can't do because you're here. Sort of rsync stuff. Yeah, rsync could be a bit of a pet, especially with content, because that can catch you out a little bit. Right. Let's see if this works, shall we? So we've got our Meetup. We're dumping at the moment. Some DevOps stuff is always useful. Yeah, the DevOps stuff around this is quite complicated, so I think I'll do a whole session of that tomorrow. I've got 30 minutes and I don't want to rush it, and I spent an hour fixing that stupid issue that was a bug. I'm not grumpy. Syntax error occurred. Did not expect a return, and that's because, again, I've missed a semicolon. Hello. There we go. And to find res. Where did I put res? Oh, res here. I usually call my responses res, to be honest. Refresh. Time expects exactly 0 parameters, 2 given. That would suggest. Hang on, why is that coming from the view? That would suggest we have an issue here with the parsing. I think. Let's just comment those out. No. Oh, for crying out loud. What the? It is coming out of that sort by time. And then it ends up calling a time function? What the fuck? It's done something weird here. I think it's trying to call the time function here. Oh! It's because I've used sort. Sort is the callback version, and it's trying to use time, the function that's at. Can't just search for collection, unfortunately. Google's not that smart yet. There's a sort, but it is sort by that we need. Sort, yeah. Sort, pass it. Oh, it just pass it nothing. Does it itself? But yeah, I think you can pass it an actual function. So we need sort by to sort by a key. Refresh. Perfect. Apps tags carbon. I nearly added it earlier. So this is our import. Down here, we haven't imported it. We need to do so. My imports usually follow the sense of A to Z or alphabetical, so we'll put that up here. Carbon, carbon. And we're away. And what do we have in here? We now have a start and an end, although they don't look great. Oh yeah, of course, this is the today's 12 till. It struck me as a bit odd when it was 12 o'clock, exactly on the middle of the day. 12 till 2 there. So that's our today's event, ending at 2 o'clock, if not a little earlier, perhaps today. And we've got all our values. So now we can start using those in our template. So in here, we can begin to list out our... this is it is an ordered list. I've got it right in the first place. We can print some LIs, and we can print the event's title. We can print, what else? Let's have a look at the website, the actual website. Where is it? norfolkdevelopers.com. Want title, date, time, and an RSVP link, and whether there's people attending. So we've got our title. What did I just say? The date, and at the moment it's using like a relative date, relative to like today, 25th of November. We can do that with Carbon, I believe. We will have a look, but for now, let's just print out that start date. We want the time, which we will need to format. So we'll need to do p start, and then we can use one of the modifiers to format it. So Statamic modifier. Oh, and by the way, things. Sorry, I haven't checked chat. Some DevOps stuff is. Yeah, indeed. Simon, you'll be pleased to know. Have you spotted this has happened? They have made the switch. So if you go to docs.statamic.com, it redirects you, but redirects you with this query string, which is a bit shitty. Which means you'll notice that there are now a ton of Statamic dev. Yeah, is now beginning to propagate, which is good. And you can actually get answers. Modifiers Statamic, for example. Boom, right there. But it does have this weird query string on the end. There is some dates which we can use to format. There's the days ago. There isn't there's this one, which will give you like a human readable. Yeah. You turn off the extra words until, so let's pass it to that. So we'll do start, pipe it to relative, and we'll have a look what that looks like. Then we'll need some other variables, I'm sure. For example, the RSVP link and the amount of people attending. So p a let's have a look what it's appearing as in our response. Link, probably. Yep. So we'll pass that as link. And it just says RSVP, I think, on here with a little arrow, perhaps. I can never remember what that arrow is. Is it R? Oh, no, it's like a double R. Something like... Oh, it's not going to tell me, is it? Does anyone know what that double arrow is? Double right arrow HTML. Is that it? I don't think that is it. Oh, yeah. Rakwa. RSVP Rakwa. So say, and then on end up P. Now I know this is very simple, and the reason for it is I've got the templates at just above, and I don't want to get bogged down in that stuff again. You can make it look however you like. The power is that you can make it look however you like. Link, and we need a RSVP count, right? So P tag. Where is it available as? Anyone spot it? Yes, RSVP count. There we go. Is it just attending? Yeah, 6 attending, 0 attending. Cool. All right. So now we should be able to render this stuff. We've got no dump in here anymore, so if I just refresh this page, bing, 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 we've got, that looks like home, December the 3rd. Wait, the dates are right. No suspicion home, title is not right. So let's have a look what it's actually called. Oh, it's name. Moron. More on that story. I love that. Anyone ever watch FKN News? Got any FKN News lovers in the room? Virtual Social Club. He was like the original kind of... I think he was at least fairly original version of that sort of show. Our RSVP link is working, look. And we can go through to that. Perfect. So that's how we kind of build up a tag, right? Now we can make this a little better. There's 2 things we can do. One is we can make it not look so hideous as it currently looks. And the other thing is, though, that now our homepage is going to take a little while to load, right? Each time I've got to go off to api.meetup.com via this now.sh. And I'm pretty sure now.sh is a serverless thing. Sean can confirm, but now.sh is a serverless thing, which means if we haven't hit it in a while, we're going to have to wait for that to boot up. Then we're going to have to wait for it to make a request to this. Then we're going to have to wait for the response to come through. Then we're going to have to process it, which will take a millisecond or whatever. Then we're going to return it. That, all in all, is quite intensive. And as a result, I imagine our page is quite significantly longer to load now. So let's have a look on the network tab. 1.64 seconds. That seems incredible. I don't think it should be taking that long. Let us chuck off let's just delete this meetup tag and see what we can get it down to when we've not got a meetup tag. Oh, hang on. I just read 14 seconds. How do you clear this? Does it just clear it like that? It wasn't any faster. 116. 7 seconds. Oh wait, it's still adding up. How can I get a normal time on this, for God's sake? Is that a time in there? There we go, 660 milliseconds per localhost. I think that's probably the time to go by. 640. 806. So if we now implement this, that's a bit hilarious if it doesn't take any longer. If we now implement this meetup tag though, yeah, there we go. Significantly longer, 1.14 seconds versus our 806 milliseconds. We just put doc. There we go. Yeah, so it's considerably longer now. And that could potentially take much longer as well. So what we need to do and what we can make use of is caching, and simply cache the response. So let's do that. And the way to do that would be to, right at the end here, cache events, so that we can hold on to it till the next time we need it, right? So we will use, again, another facade. We'll use the cache facade, which will give us access statically to all of that methods. And then we will cache put. We need to give it a key, and we'll call it Meetup events. And we need to give it the thing that we want to cache, events. And then we need to optionally give it a time to live. Now, if we did this, it would live there forever until you clear your cache. So until I come along and do that, till the homepage breaks, basically. What we want to do, though, is ensure that we can get the latest data on this when relevant. So we can give it a TTL. We need to give it a TTL in seconds. So seconds to live. Excuse me. Oh, I need to stretch. So we need to give it a TTL in seconds. So what should we make it? Now, this isn't going to change very regularly. The only thing that will potentially change is day by day, right? So what I would suggest is if we use now, it will give us one of these carbon elements, but lo and behold it will give us it currently. So it's what the current time is. And then we can use one of the features of carbon. I'm not even going to show you what, you can just trust me exists. And it's one of the modifiers, seconds until end of day. And that will give me this number of seconds till the end of the day, quite obviously. Docker compose. Oh, you can trust me on it. You can trust me on it. It's obviously going to do that, right? So cache put Meetup events now seconds until the end of the day. So we're now pushing it into the cache, and we just need to, right at the top, before we go and make that request, go and see if the item is in our cache already. And we'll do that with the cache get. So if, this is a little bit of a weird syntax, this is kind of a bit of a PHP thing. I don't think anybody else does this. Correct me if in fact, actually, you could probably do this. Yeah, you can do this in JavaScript, right? Yeah, let me show you the pattern. So if cache equals, yeah, I know, right? I've only recently got used to this kind of pattern. Usually I would go, right, so let's do this properly, right? If cache get, and our key, again, Meetup events, we should probably store that in a constant. Cache, right? If cache, then we're going to return cache. That's how I used to do it. And for a while I was aware of this other way of doing it, but I didn't like it. But I'm getting used to it. And that is to swap out the assignment and whack it in the expression at the top there. And then it'll do this assignment, and then it will secondly check whether or not that's a truthy. If it's a truthy, if cache returns as a truthy, then we can return it. Just reduces the amount of lines there, and I think I'm slowly getting there. It's not scoped, so that's not scoped into just here. That's still available here, etc., etc. All right, as far as I'm aware, anyway. So now we have the cache, both ends of our method, so that we can cache it when we first do it, and then retrieve it when we second do it. So save over here, and this is when the moment of truth, and it's not going to be any quicker. So the first time, again, we should probably come out at 106. There we go, 106. The second time, back into the holy grail of the 620 millisecond, and then every time we do that, it's back in that realm of, oh, maybe if we do it slowly and don't hammer it, we'll get that 690 again. And then if we come over to here and docker exec, there we go, cache clear, and go back. I'm going to get that 1.2, 1.4 this time connection, and back down to under a sub-second now that it's been put in the cache. So there's a caching tag written that we can now use anywhere we like. Cool. What we can also do is we can give it parameters. So if I come over to the Statamic dev docs again, we'll, for the last 10 minutes, cover a little bit more advanced. I wasn't going to do this, but now that I've done nothing but this, let's bring in parameters. Oops. What we need to be is in extending Statamic. This is be careful of this. I think I mentioned it already. Documentation and extending Statamic is kind of basically the same thing. Tags. You see it? Tags. There we go. Here we go. And then we can pass in, here we go, source equals baz. And we can get those out with a this param, I think. Yeah, here we go. This params. It will do some magic when you say get and try and work out what you want it as, or you can be a bit more specific about it and retrieve a bool, int, float, or an array. Cool. So what we can do with that is, of course, collect the group name from here, and we could potentially default that as well. So let's take it out of here and say group, and of course we'll need to change our quotes here to be double quotes so that we can use the interpolating. We've seen that that's now become clean. it's standing out, it's white with a little blue dollar, means we've enabled that. So now we can come along here and let's extract this variable instead. So group equals this params like that, get, and we will call it group again, but we can also pass it a default, I believe, as its second value. Yeah, there we go. It's a collections, wait, no, it's a collection, so that works. Here we go, get fallback. So get, and then we'll pass the fallback being this, so that we can just default to the Norfolk developers a little bit. Well, no, to be fair, it's on the Norfolk developers website. What we now need to do, though, is of course include that within our cache call, because otherwise we're going to return other people's stuff, right? So we will again update this to be a quotes, so that we can pass in the group into this aspect, so that our cache key even includes Norfolk developers, Nordiv. Perfect. And then we can pass in, like we already have done, into the request, and we'll then need to update down here finally to say that we want the similar makeup here to this cache key. So what you should probably do at this point, in fact, is actually generate this key up here. So key equals that, and then we can pass that in here, and we can pass it in finally down here. Cool. And now we can request a specific group. We could ask for digital management group, or the Cambridge Tech Corridor group, and bring out and highlight some of their events from Meetup. Cool. And now, hopefully with some luck, nothing has changed. No. We go along to Meetup now, and pull out another one, Digital Leadership. It's a great group. They're East Anglian, I think. Oh no, London. It's where I stole the idea. It's not stolen the idea, they stole it from somewhere else as well. Where I first saw the idea of lean coffees. They run a lean coffee quite regularly on different topics. I think think they've done one on morale and one on like ethics in coding, which was quite interesting. I think it's one of the first ones I went to. So if we grab their tag up here, digital leadership, we should be able to load some of their events instead. So if we come along to our Bard, sets, Meetup, we were already there, weren't we? Sorry about that. Group equals digital leadership. And now, if I've done it right, we refresh. We see that Agile Lean Coffee. It took a little bit longer, but this second one's going to take a little less. There we go, 650 milliseconds, because now the digital leadership one has been cached as well. So that's good. We can pass around parameters and properties like that. Not got chat up. About 2 months too late for me. Yeah, it was a big shame about the indexing thing, to be honest. But then that's what happens when you change domains, I guess. I'm gonna have some of the issues where you're first launching. So yeah, I guess that's that. All right. What we should also do is bring in a nicer template for our final step along. And I've got that somewhere. There we go. Let's paste that in. So it's going to use that headline partial that the latest posts and latest magazines also use. And going to link to our NorDev group. And we just need to give it a key so that's used in its, to say all magazines or all events, as this one will be. And then we've got a range of Tailwind classes. So what I'm going to need to do is run npm run prod, so that those purge CSS commands come and take a look at my new template and include those new classes in there. So we'll just run that a moment. So take a second. Squash. What time are we looking at? 13:48. Okay. There we go. 16 kilobytes of CSS have been rendered. And now, with some luck, there we go. We've got a huge upcoming events tag. So, what we can also allow people to do with our Meetup tag is provide a limit. So what we'll do is we'll come in here and we'll say limit equals this params get limit, but we're also going to pass in a default. And now a default, I think, for our site is 9369, like that. So we will say that. Bring in 9 of them by default. And then again, we're going to probably need to include that limit in our key because we're storing them wholly at the end here. And we need to pass it through to this finally to get that limit. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, what we could do here is always put the entire response, so not take 20, but entire response in the cache, and then in each of our return cache things, we could say to pluck 20. But to be honest, I'm just going to pop in here, say take the limit, and we're also going to pass that in as our cache key after a dash. So dash limit. So we're just including every parameter in that cache call. And again, we're going to see that kicks off event initially and gives us a long load on our page. And then we're going to see it hopefully come down. So where's that time? Time here, 683 on the last load. Refresh. We've got 9 and 114 seconds. Refresh. 733. Still got our 9. Good. So that's our tag. our Meetup tag. I think that's pretty much all there. We've got our template in place, our tag is in place, we've got our limit and our group and our cached key working. And then that's good. All right, we got 9 minutes. One of the other things that I did within the episode 3.5, any questions, by the way, fire them across. But one of the things I did within the episode 3.5 is forms. And specifically what I did is overrode some of the Statamic form views. And this is what I wanted to make you aware of. Now, Laravel, if you're used to the Laravel world and you're used to adding packages to Laravel, you'll find that there is a way to provide overrides to views that are stored within that package. And the way to do that is to basically like for like match the directory in your vendor inside of views. So you'll find inside my vendor here, we've got a Statamic folder, then we've got a forms, and then we've got fields and a top level fields as well. So we've got each of the fields that make up a form, and then this top level one for the top level display of it. Now that is up to you. They do provide you a bunch of default fields out of the box. If you do want to override them, there is a comment about it on their developer forum, Statamic dev, publish vendor. Got a phone call from an 020 number. I'm going to go with either I've been in an accident or
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon. My name is Andrei Muscalu, and I'm calling from IFS on behalf of the Government Department of Digital, Culture, Media and Sports. Is it possible to speak to the person in charge of GDPR compliance at your organization?
No, I was afraid I've already got advice on that matter. Thank you very much, though. Bye-bye. Just all sorts of random phone calls from that 020 number recently. It's always been usually you've been in an accident recently. And I just actually went along with the robot voice the other day. I'm like, when was the accident? I was like, about 2 hours ago. My arm's still bleeding. Help. And they hung up. They weren't that amused apparently. Okay, where is it? There is somewhere in here a vendor publish command. If you can't find it though, and you want to find out what stuff is available for publishing, docker exec -it php the base name. There we go, php artisan. And then if you do vendor publish, you get a list. So these are all of the things that the vendors have allowed you to publish into your site so that you can then override them. If they're not in here, you can still override them. This is just kind of the easy way of doing it. So down here, Statamic forms, if you publish these, you will get exactly what I've got. And all I've done is gone through here and added some Tailwind classes into those. So that all of them, to be honest, I think I might have used, in fact, the, I think there's like a gist Tailwind form example, maybe? No, that's the Tailwind UI. There is somewhere. Official Tailwind CSS no, that's not it again. It's the Tailwind UI thing again. Maybe this one? But yeah, somewhere around here. I think I based it on these ones. There are a bunch of basically classes. Make it nice. Look nice, texturize and stuff. Borders. Otherwise you get some very boring fields out of the box with Tailwind. So, what that allows me to do is I've got this example and this feedback form, but let's have a look at the example form because it is crazy. Edit form, and you'll see it's got a blueprint, just as we have with collections, Look at this nutty form. It's got an assets field, integers, checkboxes, radios, selects, and then we've got skinny fields. So we've got 25% ones, we've got 33% ones, and then we've got some 250% ones. And what we can do with these is I've created a barred field that will allow you to bring one of these onto a page. So let's go for our page. Let's go for our about page. Now I think this one's got a contact us form on it at the moment. Yeah, the NorDev comment box. Come underneath here, enter, add set form, and then this just has some simple setup. So example form is our headline. This is just an example form, and then you just link it to that form that we've created. So we've got the feedback form, which I'll show you in a moment, and we've also got this example form, which is the one with the crazy fields on it. We'll save and publish, and we'll pop across to the about page. Here's our NorDev comment box. So it's just a pretty simple comment box, but look at this bad boy. The example form here. Oh, the skinny stuff hasn't worked. Typical. I think that's probably because of my top level. So in here, we should have, yeah, it's not using it. Moron. So what I've got is I've got a little modifier that has a tailwind width. And in the in Laravel, there is a tailwind width class helper in the string region that will take any of these numbers, 25, 33, 50, 66, and convert it to the tailwind version of that. So if we come into our form top level, we should have in here a width. Let's have a look. Dump. Oh. Are you gonna dump for me? Why is it not dumping? What's your problem? Why is it not dumping? God damn it. Well, this is a brilliant way to include the last 10 minutes. I thought this would be quick. Why is this not? Partials, barred, form. Oh, what a loser. Right, here we go. I've overridden this top level field, sorry. This isn't responsible for it anymore, it's this one. So fields is being looped over here. If we put dump in here, we should get, there we go, moron. Within which there is a width, and the last few skinny ones, oops, no, don't search in there, search it like this. Yeah, there we go, skinny. Skinny should have a width of 25, so that should be working because we're passing it. Oh, at medium. Was I not a medium or something? That might have been the reason. F5, let's take that dump out. Get rid of the dump, Jesus. Yeah, medium 1/4. Oh, I tell you what might have happened here. I think npm prod. I think prod has removed my width classes. Let me just run this with npm run dev. So there's a thing to be looking out for. Of course, with purge CSS, dynamic classes, if there's no obvious mention of them, then they're not going to get pulled in. One thing you could potentially do, I think, is just pop a comment above here to say that they are the ones that you'd want to be brought in. So where was the tailwind width modifier? Over here. Go to the definition for that, and then we'll just grab each of these, copy them, and potentially just pop it up here. Wanna like so, and then we'll wanna put a W dash at the front of that. That should trigger npm to not purge those. I think that's a way of doing it. I don't think it's clever enough to look in the class. I just think it's tokenizing it. So we ran dev. Let's run prod and see if we get our. There we go. That's why it wasn't working. Sorry about that. Now we should get. There we go. We should still have our width classes. No, we don't. Huh, that's annoying. So there's one for you. Possible problem. I wonder why it doesn't include it in. Is it because it's commented? Maybe. What if we put? Oh no, we can't do that. What if we do a span class hidden? All of the widths. And then end the span. And then run that as npm run prod. It's a bit hacky. And there's probably ways you can just exclude, there's probably a way you can put it in the Tailwind configuration to say that I want this class all times. No, that hasn't worked either. Seems to be a lot smart. Wait, hang on. Why hasn't that worked? Oh! Does it need to be prefixed? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. There we go. It does. Right, there you go then. So that's something to be very, very aware of. Dynamic classes are going to cause some issues with this sort of stuff, but it always does. I don't know if there's a good way around it, other than to kind of just exclude them. I think there might be a top level Tailwind config here that probably allows you to say purge except for these ones or something along those lines. Would be a good shout. However, I am already 4 or 5 minutes over. So join, I keep saying that, but I need to check. Bear with. I'm pretty sure I'm available tomorrow. And let's have a look at the best time. Maybe we can do a morning one. No, I can't do a morning one. I can't do a... So I could do an afternoon one. We could do like 3 o'clock-ish, 4 o'clock-ish. Should we go with 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock on the streams, little afternoon stream, and we'll do some Git stuff. We'll take a look at this Git integration. Like I say, I've used Spock, which is pretty awesome. But I'm looking forward to using this stuff, which allows you to do it. Where is it? Automatic, yeah. So you can turn this automatic stuff off, and I'm really looking forward to being able to kind of manage that. We'll probably set up a. I've done the main domain, so there'll be a cp.statamic and then a statamic dot. And statamic dot will be our production version of it. CP dot will be our place for staging anything. And then once we're happy, we will go into our utility, we'll commit it, and then that will trigger a build to the full, the production version of the website. So you can get your staging site into a nice setup and then push it when you're ready. And then, 15, 20 minutes later, once your CI is warmed up and pushed it out, it'll be rendered at your renders on your production site, which is pretty handy. And we'll cover a few of the async commands as well, especially if Simon's having issues with those. But yeah, thanks for joining us again. And sorry that was so crazy. Sorry we didn't get through even half as much as I wanted to. It looks like the music stopped again as well by the looks of it. We're using this. Let's bring it down. The dramatic dance and electronic music from the new, I think this is new anyway, new YouTube audio library. But it didn't work out quite as nice as Pretzel Rock, so I don't know when it stopped, but it doesn't look like it got very far. So that's annoying. You can download them though, so maybe I'll download them all next time. Saying that, next time is probably going to be, like I say, tomorrow, 4 o'clock. And we will do some deployment stuff. In the meantime, I shall leave you as usual with our wonderful list of wonderful patrons. Thank you for dropping by. If it's been useful, of course, perhaps consider donating to Nordev if you find any of our stuff useful. It helps us a lot. It's quite an expensive little endeavour, really. But yeah, thanks again. Sorry it was a bit muffled, and we had 2 pretty heinous bugs on the way through that, so I apologise. I didn't get through as much as I wanted to. Is Statamic... tell you what. Hi Nicholas. Watch this. Just quickly, because it will be quick. Good question. Can you make Statamic SSG? The answer is yes. Composer require Statamic SSG. We'll pull it in. We're on the episode 3.5 branch. Yep, perfect. And then what you'll need to do is publish the config. Or you don't have to, but I'd recommend you do. So you've got hold of it. PHP artisan and somewhere. Wait a moment. SSG is a bit weird with caching though, right? What do you mean? I mean, SSG is caching. Let me quickly do this because I really wanted to show you this. So yeah, composer require, and then publish. This is that vendor publish thing again I was talking about. So it allows you to get your... When does it get refreshed? What do you mean, when does it? If you're cached your call from Meetup, when does it get refreshed? Yeah, so these are all things you need to consider with any static deployment, to be honest. So with that, I would probably look to use this, not that. You can do a timed one. There's a webhook scheduled events. There you go. So you write a cron. So if I had concerns around something along those lines with the meetup, I would just get it to render it every day, 1 AM or something, to get the latest information for something like the meetup. Or, of course, you could look to build that meetup block with React and chuck that on the front of your flat build. Font size of console is too small. Yeah, good shout, Hamza. Good shout. All right, so if we vendor publish that now, it's going to complain that, oh yeah, we're not Docker. Vendor publish. Oh, this is that thing I was talking about earlier. You can just pick one out of here. 14. So it's now published that config for me. So I come in here, config, Statamic, SSG. You need to be aware of your base URL. So in your environment, you need to make sure that this is correct for wherever you're going to be deploying it. I'm going to be statically serving it for using npm in a moment. So I'm going to tell it it's going to be 3000. Stick that in there. Back to SSG config. A destination, it's going to put it in app static. That's fine for me at the moment. Any weird and wonderful public directories. So if you're deploying, or sorry, if you're building stuff to a different directory other than JS and CS, but perhaps be aware of that. There is also a concern about assets. If you're using any of your assets directly, then you're going to need to include them in the copy. So, for example, we use the magazine PDFs directly. So we will copy those in, assets, magazines, and we'll map that back to asset magazines as well. Everything else, assuming you're using Glide, will get it automatically included here in an image directory. So assuming you're using all of your storage, all of your assets using Glide, you don't have to do anything. It will just take that care of that for you. So you just need to make aware of your app static. That's going to be your destination. I'm just going to build it. And now that it's configured, we run it. PHP artisan statamic SSG something. Is it going to complete? God damn it. Artisan. Oh, and again with the Docker Compose. Excuse me. In here, there should be I'm pretty sure it's Statamic SSG generate. Yeah, that one. So, oops. Statamic SSG generate. Enter. God damn it. How many times am I going to do that? Sorry. Statamic SSG, can't spell, generate. Enter. Here we go. And oh my god, those ticks are awful. What you're going to notice is it's going to go through your entire site. Now, one thing that I got a bit concerned about is the crosses. However, there are expected crosses and there are not expected crosses. What you'll see here is that locations, roles, and tags are all 404ing. Oh, that's at least the error. And that's because we don't have them. We don't want them. But it doesn't know that at that stage. So it goes and tries and looks at them. If they're not there, it's obviously not included in the final site. And you get a warning basically here. But the site has been generated. So if I go to storage, app, static, we have the entire site here. Index.html files, the whole way down. And then in our image folder here, we've got containers, the asset container, and then any optimizations or changes that have been done have been mapped to an individual rendered JPEG that is in here. So if you've got quality or filters going on all that, that will have taken it into case. And then if you just use some kind of host tool thing, so we're going to just use HTTP server, which is a npm package. npx will go and get it. It saves you doing it as global. And then we get a port here, or a address. So if we now go and visit localhost 3000, with some luck, boom. Weirdly got a magazine title up here. That's a bit strange. Is that happening on the real site? Ooh. Oh. No. Haha. We might have found a bug. That's curious. But everything else should have rendered it all running ridiculously quickly because it's all just flat files. There's no... God damn it. Scroll is terrible. This is all just flying along and this is all static stuff. One thing to be aware of is obviously your forms won't work in the future. But what they have done is... If you can see this, I'll zoom in a bit more. Oh, Jesus, not that much. There we go. The post action on this is :3000/!, and so is any dynamic stuff. So if you've got API requests or anything, they are made via !/. And what you'll be able to do is, in some fashion, wherever you're hosting this, redirect any requests to ! to your, or proxy them to your actual API. So if you will probably play around with that tomorrow. So if you've got a CP subdomain and you've got a main domain, your CP domain should accept the forms basically. So this would remap it to point it at CP dot, and then it will still post it into your staging database basically, which is cool. But yeah, that's SSG. That's curious. I've not seen that before, and that's probably some kind of cascading issue. So that's something I need to look into. But other than that, we have a flat build site and all the images work. Where are the images? Introducing what stack. Here we go. So yeah, there's a 768 by 430 generated image. It's actually just been stored. And you can throw this wherever you like. So yeah, SSG is freaking awesome. That's a new thing. There is a load of extra stuff. So for example, if you're actually doing kind of Laravel stuff, you can just kind of type in and say, oh yeah, all of these Laravel URLs as well. Can you go and get those for me? So yeah, some deployment examples here. Oh right, yeah, deploy to Netlify. Here we go. Deploy to Vercel, deploy to Search, Firebase. Apparently no GitHub. Oh, the little GitHub free hosting. Anyway, we're well over. Sorry about that, but yeah, that was a very good question. Thanks, Nicholas. That was definitely something I wanted to show. Let me just check. I haven't missed anything else. Font size. Thank you, Hamza. I missed the how are you doing? I'm doing well, thanks. I hope you are as well. I'm doing cron within Laravel. Okay, yeah. So to over here, all right. So console kernel in here. You're doing some scheduling with Laravel. But the cron, this would be to do GitHub. So if you've got a GitHub action, we don't on here because it's so the where's the Laravel marketing? Not the Laravel marketing one. The Hablytics, Nordev Hablytics. So we set this up a couple of months ago. This has an action inside in the php.yaml. We'll be going across this again tomorrow as well. But in this on, you could put a schedule in here and say at 12 o'clock at night or 12:30 or whatever in the morning, render it again. Just regardless, don't care. Just do it again and push it up to Netlify or push it up to whoever. And away you go. If you've got dynamic content like that, if you've got a Meetup tag, or like I say, use a React front end to just get that for you. Just a little nugget there, a little widget thing to get it for you. And then you haven't got to worry at all. You can leave your site statically rendered. What we'll go through tomorrow is using that Spock or using Git Integrations to trigger this build, basically, which will be good. So yeah. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Sorry it's a little bit over. I will leave you, like I say, with our wonderful patrons. Thank you to our wonderful patrons. And have a wonderful rest of your day. I shall see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock.